Hello there guys and gals, Alex here, bringing you part 2 of What If Deku Had Cataclysm. Before I continue, I do want to quickly mention, again, thank you for all the support guys, and in this case, even Ed was a little bit baffled. I was actually baffled because, this was made out of spite, but in any case, yeah, it seems that a lot of you were interested in this What If, and in this case, yeah, I also got to work on some other projects in the meanwhile, but in this case, yeah, we'll try to put our attention to this one at least for a moment. Let's say if you want me to continue it like right away in the next 24 hours, I would really like to see the gauge and interest. How about if we can get 2,000 views, 300 likes? How about that? And we'll see about trying to quickly get out part 3 out as quickly as possible. But without further ado, let's begin. Where we last left off, the catboy Izuku Midoriya managed to participate in the entrance exams, sneaking Fluffles with him and completing the exam. Afterwards, he was relaxing by playing the piano in his room, or rather, a room in the UA building which was used for Izuku's one-on-one studies and just to chill while on school grounds for the past years. But he was startled when a purple-haired girl appeared out of nowhere. After an awkward exchange of words, she rushed out of the room as quickly she entered it, leaving Izuku with his thoughts about the girl with the ponytail from the recommendation exam. Izuku resumed playing the piano. Nezu walked in. Nezu saying, "Izuku, playing that piece again, I see." Izuku saying, "Yep, I think it got stuck in my head." Izuku getting excited would say, So, how did I do?" Nezu saying, "That is why I came here." Izuku giving Nezu the kitty eyes as his ears drooped, saying, "Didn't I make it in?" Nezu, patting him on the head and smiling, would say, "On the contrary, you've passed with flying colors, and I'm very proud of you." Izuku, excited with his ears perking up, would say, Really? You mean it?" Nezu saying, "Indeed I am. Not only did you get 75 points by destroying the robots, but you also got 35 rescue points by saving a fellow examinee." Izuku, confused, would say, "Saving someone? I don't recall saving anybody." Nezu, sighing, "Even if you don't recall it, you indeed saved someone that got their foot stuck and not being able to escape from the zero-pointer, but you managed to destroy it." Izuku saying, "Oh, yeah, now that I think about it, I did destroy the big robot. I'm guessing that girl that came here thanking me was the one I saved? What do you say, Fluffles?" Fluffles meowed in agreement. Nezu would say, "Well, that's good. And before I forget, here's some cheese snacks." Izuku, excited, would say, "Yay, cheese!" Nezu, rolling his eyes, would say, "And one more thing, you'll be starting class next week. You'll be in class 1A with Aizawa." Izuku saying, "Really? Aizawa-sensei? That is so cool. And what about Kachan?" Nezu saying, "Regarding Katsuki, yes, he too passed the exam, and he will most likely be in class 1A with his outstanding results." Izuku, happy, would say, "That's great," with his ears drooping and becoming shy, would say, "Nezu, can you tell me if the girl with the ponytail passed the recommendation exam?" Nezu, confused, would say, "Recommendation exam? Girl with the ponytail? What do you mean?" Izuku, embarrassed, would say, "That day of the recommendation exam, there were those students, but there was one girl with a big ponytail that created a lot of stuff." Nezu, trying to think, would say, Izuku saying, "The smart girl with the beautiful face, charming smile, and a tank top?" Nezu, remembering, would say, "Ah, yes. The girl in question is Miss Yagirozu, and if I remember correctly, we were planning for her to go in class 1A, but we still have to finalize everything else." Izuku, excited, would say, "Yay!" Nezu, visibly curious, would say, "So tell me, Izuku, do you know Miss Yagirozu from somewhere?" Izuku saying, Not really. I kind of, feel fuzzy thinking about her, and I was curious, that's all." Nezu saying, Is it that time already?" Izuku, confused, would say, what time? It's only 4 in the afternoon. I already had a snack, so is it still snack time? Nezu, sighing, no, Izuku, I wasn't referring to the literal time. I was referring to your phase in life, which is puberty. Izuku, even more confused, would say, puber what? What's that? Is it a kind of cheese? Nezu, face-palming, would say, what are you talking about? Didn't Aizawa tell you? It was his job to tell you about the birds and the bees. Izuku, thinking, oh yeah, I remember. I kind of got excited about the birds. Then I felt hungry. But when it came to the bees, well, let's just say that they don't taste as good, especially with the stinger. Nezu, holding his head before it fell off due to sheer stupidity in the air, would say, Izuku, that is not what I meant. You are coming with me to Recovery Girl. It seems that you need a fundamental lesson which I cannot teach you. Izuku, throwing a fit and whining, saying, no, you can't, she's scary. There's no way I'm going there, and there's no amount of cheese in the world that will convince me otherwise. Nezu, sighing, Izuku, either you go to her, or she'll come to you. So which will it be? Izuku, throwing a fit, no, not happening. Can you see she's got that big needle all this time? What does she have to use that thing as a walking stick? Izuku whining some more, saying, can't she use a regular walking stick? And not to mention she uses one in her hair to keep her hair together. What's wrong with her? Nezu, saying, so what if I promise you that she won't have them? Will you go then? Izuku, saying, will you do that? Giving the kitty eye, saying, please? Nezu, sighing, alright, Izuku, for this time I'll allow it. I still don't understand why are you afraid of needles. Izuku, lowering his head, I just don't like them. Nezu sighed and went to get Recovery Girl, and she on the other hand explained about the birds and the bees, surprising Izuku and finally understanding. Time skip to the first day of school. Izuku was waiting patiently for Katsuki in the dorm so they could walk together, sneaking Fluffles in his shirt in the meantime. For those who haven't read between the lines and now are wondering, yes, the dorms are a thing, but it was mainly purpose for Izuku, but those that live too far, they have the option of staying at the dorms, which some third year and second year students are currently living there as well. They all know who Izuku is, since he's been there roughly for about 5 years. It goes without saying that he knows the big three. Katsuki arrived and the two walked to class. Before we continue, Invisible Girl never made it to class 1A. Kendo takes her place. An argument and several puns later, they arrived at the door of class 1A. Izuku opened it and a young man in glasses rushing to the door like a robot greeting him, which actually had an opposite effect on him. Izuku immediately jumped onto Katsuki, stirring up some ruckus, which annoyed Katsuki. Katsuki dropping Izuku, saying, get off me, scaredy cat. You're as I told you before, get over this shtick of yours. And you, Four Eyes, do you always greet people like this or what? Ida, confused, would say, no, I just wanted to apologize at the exams and compliment him for getting top spot. Izuku, having anime tears, he hid behind Katsuki as he poked his head from over his shoulder. Izuku, trembling, saying, don't do that, you startled me. Ida saying, my apologies, and as someone would be placing a hand on Izuku's shoulder, saying, hey, it's the cat boy from the exam. Izuku startled, and he jumped onto the door and made his way to the top, looking down. Izuku with anime tears saying, I regret everything, I'm not ready for school. It was a bad idea after all. I should have just listened to Nezu. As the girl would be confused, saying, is he okay? Katsuki, irritated, would say, great, another weirdo. Look what you did, round face. This is going to be a long year, isn't it? Ochako saying, I'll have you know, I have a name, and my name is Ochako Uraraka. As she gets concerned, saying, but mind explaining me why Catboy is on top of the door? Katsuki yelled at Izuku to get down, as Ochako and Ida tried to help out, but they were interrupted by an angry-looking Aizawa. Aizawa saying, Katsuki, what happened? Katsuki saying, oh, Mr. Aizawa, you see, these two weirdos had to scare Izuku before he got the chance to get in class. Aizawa sighing, saying, "Very well, you three, go grab a seat. I'll deal with him." The three students entered the classroom. Aizawa, annoyed, would say, "Izuku, come down now." Izuku saying, "No, I should have listened to Nezu. He was right, I'm not ready." Aizawa saying, "It's useless to cry over spilled milk. So get down here or I won't give you any cheese." Izuku was conflicted, but he gave in, especially when he noticed the girl with the ponytail that was in the classroom, and he realized he was making a fool out of himself, and a very bad first impression. Izuku followed Aizawa to the front of the class, trying his best not to cower in fear behind Aizawa. Aizawa nudged Izuku so he can speak up. Izuku stuttering, saying, "Hi, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Pleased to meet you." Then he hid behind Aizawa. Aizawa saying, "Okay, listen up. My name is Shota Aizawa, your homeroom teacher. If you all didn't hear, his name is Izuku Midoriya. And as you can all tell, he's a scaredy cat, but don't let his innocent looks deceive you. He's smart, cunning, and he could easily put most pros out of business, but he tends to be clumsy due to social anxiety, which is why he's acting this way." Ochako in the background would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Izuku. I didn't mean to scare you off." Izuku saying, It's okay. How could you possibly have known?" Everyone that had a sense of humor, everyone except for Todoroki, Bakugo, Tokoyami, and Shoji, chuckled at Izuku's pun, which gave him a smile on his face, which Aizawa recognized. Aizawa saying, "Okay, that's enough, Izuku. I know having this joke around you was a bad idea. Whatever the case, let's move on. Everyone, put on these uniforms and meet me outside." A meow was heard and Aizawa stared at Izuku. Aizawa, annoyed, would say, "Izuku, what did I tell you about sneaking your cat?" Izuku giving the kitty eye, saying, "But Aizawa, he'll feel lonely." Aizawa saying, "Whatever, give him here. Now the lot of you, go and do as you were told." Ida would say, "But Aizawa-sensei, what about orientation?" Aizawa, glaring at Ida, would say, "In my class, I do as I see fit. Now get in these uniforms and meet me outside. Are we clear?" Ida, frightened, would say, "Yes, sir." The lot went to the locker rooms and did as they were told. In the boys' locker room, Izuku was getting changed, and some of the students were trying to be friendly towards him. And Izuku, although he was hesitant, he did try to warm up towards them, until Mineta was peeking in a small hole in the wall, leading to the girls' locker room, and Izuku called him out. The girls sighed. Although it's not very important, they have their girl talk and gossip about the boys of their class, and Izuku in particular, and when they notice the hole in the wall, Jiro inspects it and uses her earphone jacks on Mineta. Once the students were outside, they saw Aizawa waiting there playing with Fluffles, but once Fluffles saw Izuku, he jumped away from Aizawa and into Izuku's shirt. Aizawa looking annoyed. "Finally, what took the lot of you so long?" Everyone looked at Mineta. Aizawa saying, "I see. So Izuku, you've got the highest score in the exam. How far could you throw a softball last time?" Izuku saying, I think it was around 350 meters? Aizawa saying, Alright, you know what to do. Izuku nodded, and he threw the softball, and it reached 403.7 meters. Aizawa saying, Interesting, it seems you've been keeping up with your training. Izuku smiling, saying, Yep. Aizawa saying, As you have seen, the lot of you will do a series of tests that you have done your entire lives, but this time by using your quirks. Mina saying, It looks like fun. Aizawa, irritated, would say, Fun? The one that comes last place will be expelled. And Izuku, if you don't put effort into this, you will also lose your cheese snacks. Izuku was shocked, and Fluffles meowed at him. Izuku would say, How could you, Fluffles? Did Aizawa bribe you? Fluffles meowed. Izuku would say, What do you mean by that, you ungrateful little... The class, seeing this, was mostly confused. Jiro would come to Aizawa saying, Aizawa-sensei, is he able to speak with cats, or is he messing with us? Aizawa, annoyed, would say, Knowing him, it could actually be both. The class took their turn and got their score as in the anime, Except for Izuku, he got 8th overall, and Aizawa explained why he threatened everyone. Aizawa would say, "The lot of you can go and change back into your uniforms, except you, Izuku." Izuku, with drooping ears, would say, "Yes, Aizawa?" Aizawa would say, "I've noticed that you've been distracted." Izuku would say, "Me? Distracted?" As if. Aizawa would say, "Oh, look, Miss Yaoyorozu's coming here." Izuku looked around and frantically searched for her, but without avail. Aizawa would say, "See, you are distracted. If you like Miss Yaoyorozu, I'd say talking to is better than staring at." Izuku's eyes sparkled, and he rushed to class. Once in class, Izuku gathered some courage and went to Momo, but got cold feet. It was nearly the end of the last period. Izuku managed to ask Momo to meet him after class, catching Jiro's curiosity of drama. After school, Izuku would say, "Yaoyorozu, I was wondering, did it hurt?" Momo, confused, would say, "Did what hurt?" Izuku would say, "Falling from heaven?" Momo, smiling, saying, "Ah, that's sweet, but why did you call me here?" Izuku would say, "I have feelings for you, and I also was wondering, are you from France? Because I fell for you. Or are you from Italy? Because you smell like a seasoned piece of cheese." Momo, looking at him with a weird look, would say, "Thank you, I guess." Momo's inner monologue would say, "What the is he for real? I can tell he had a few loose screws, but do I smell like cheese? And a seasoned one to boot? I better end things now before they escalate." Izuku would say, "Since you're from Japan, mind if I get in Momo, irritated, would say, "Okay, no, you went one joke too far. I thought you were cute with that little shy side of yours, but I guess I was sorely mistaken," as she would start walking away, and would say, "Now, if there isn't anything else, I'm leaving." Izuku, a bit desperate, would say, "No, wait, I was kidding around." Momo would say, "Okay, yeah, I'm leaving, and please don't talk to me ever again." Izuku plopped to the floor as Momo disappeared into the distance, as Fluffles meowed at him. Izuku saddened would say, "Ha ha ha, very funny, Fluffles, very funny." Izuku picked himself up and went to his personal space with his ears drooping and tears welling up in his eyes. The one who witnessed all this was none other than Jiro, that was still laughing at Izuku's failed attempt to flirt with jokes, especially with Momo's social status. Yet, she felt bad for him. As soon as she stopped laughing, she followed him, but she lost sight of him until the sound of a piano caught her attention. She followed the sound, and when she arrived at the door where the music was coming from, she placed her earphone jack to listen if there was someone else in there, but she heard some soft sobs as it accompanied by the music. Realizing he was severely hurt, so she knocked on the door. The piano stopped, Izuku choked his sobs, and told whoever was there to come in, only in his surprise to find one of his classmates. Izuku, trying to act normal and stuttering, would say, "What are you doing here?" Jiro saying, "No real reason. May I join you?" Izuku saying, "Yes, no, I don't know." Jiro saying, "Calm down, kitty, I won't bite. I just heard you playing the piano, so I wanted to ask if I could join, that's all." Izuku saying, "Okay." Izuku scooted over, making some room for Jiro. Jiro would say, "Where are the music sheets?" Izuku saying, "What are those?" Jiro saying, "The paper that tells you which notes to play." Izuku saying, "Oh, those things. I can't understand those things. I just play by ear." Jiro saying, "That's amazing. Not everyone can do that." Jiro got caught in the moment, and she started to pat Izuku on his head, which Izuku let out some purrs. Izuku, embarrassed, would say, I didn't mean it." Jiro, realizing what he meant and acting playfully, saying, "What, are you developing feelings for me or something?" Izuku, shocked with his ears perking up. "Did you just say what I think you said? What, felines?" Izuku looked at her in awe, imagining what it could mean. Jiro saying, "To be honest, I heard the whole confession, and I must say, it was cheesy." Izuku saying, "Oh, do you think I should have chedded it a bit?" Jiro rolling her eyes. "What I think you did wrong was that you were going too fast. I mean, you just met her today for the first time, right?" Izuku saying, "Yeah, but I like her. I feel fuzzy when I see or think of her." Jiro saying, "Yeah, I think she was more upset for the seasoned cheese smell you compared her to." Izuku saying, "But how? I love that kind of cheese. It's the best there is." Jiro, shocked, would say, "Oh, so that's what you meant by it? In that case, tell you what, I'll help you out with her." Izuku saying, "Really? You do that for me?" Jiro saying, "Of course, but you must do one thing in return." Izuku saying, "Oh, what's that?" Jiro saying, "I want to touch your ears. They've been taunting me since this morning." Izuku saying, "Oh." Days passed, and Jiro and Izuku became best friends, with Mina joining in and Katsuki being dragged in occasionally, while Momo is still avoiding him. Izuku kept on trying, but it was no use. Then Mineta and Kaminari joined in, with some others like Kendo, Ochako, Kirishima, and Ida, and sometimes Shoji and Tokoyami and Koda. Izuku became less of a scaredy cat around his classmates, and they got the chance of playing with his ears and tail, but Izuku couldn't help but to be very weary around Todoroki. For some reason, he's been keeping a close eye on Izuku with an intense glare. The students were chatting when All Might suddenly showed up in his Silver Age costume. All Might saying, "All right, students, I will be your teacher for heroing class. But before we get started, you must look the part." All Might pressed a button, then the wall opened up, revealing a strange mechanism holding some suitcases. All Might saying, "These are your hero costumes. Put them on and meet me in Training Ground Gamma." Once the students were in their hero costumes, All Might greeted them. All Might would say, "Well, they say the clothes make the pros, and you are proof of it. Hold on a second. Aren't we missing?" Counting the students, saying, "Izuku? Have any of you seen Izuku?" Izuku, arriving late, would say, "I'm here. Sorry, they forgot to put the hole for my tail, so I had to improvise." All Might would say, "In any case, the exercise is simple, explaining the hero versus villains mock battle. So, you'll be divided into groups. Everyone, grab a number." And to be continued. Oh my god, I want to kill myself. Those puns, bro. Why are you torturing me like this, man? Oh my god, I want to murder my... Anyways, yes, even I get irritated of saying this. Like, I repeat some of these lines so much. That's why you see some random ass cuts in the audio, because I cut it immediately. Although it sometimes doesn't, feel as fluid. But hey man, hey. Don't judge. Oh my god, I'm sorry for that little, what's it called? Me breaking down and just complaining. I'm sorry. It's just that what I have to deal on a daily basis. God, please just let me rest. Let me take the easy way. In any case, yeah, I really do hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video. And in this case, what's it called? I'm gonna go on a third job interview this month, because the other two are kind of ass. I'll be real honest with you. No, it's not that I wasn't being well, actually I was being a dipshit, but in this case it was more like, yeah, they weren't, I don't think they were interested, and I also wasn't interested. It was like, I think the money was good, but at the same time I was like, nah, I'm gonna do the same shit I did previously. So I was like, nope. And there's another job offer I'll go to, so it's gonna be on Monday. So yeah, I'll try to work on these this weekend on some artwork for the next what ifs on the line. I'm still working on the Archer one. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, in any case, I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day or have a good night. Peace.